Hi, I'm Ben Wojdyla. Today on Saturday Mechanic, I'm going to take a stab at answering one of your questions. How you doing? I'm Ben, and this is Russ. Who are we speaking to today?
My name's Graham from Las Vegas.
Good, Graham. How'd you hear about us?
Through you guys' show on the YouTube channel.
Cool.
Oh, that's great.
So
I
you
got
actually
a live one.
Yeah, you actually like watching us, huh?
Oh, yeah.
So it must be pretty warm out in Vegas.
It is. It's hot out. It's about 111 today.
Ooh, it might be that hot in here.
Yeah, I think so. Have you ever been to that famous pawn shop?
Yeah, it's a dump.
Okay.
So now,
I guess that ruins his application.
yeah, absolutely.
There we go.
So do you have a question for us today?
I have a 1999 Mercury Grand Marquis. It has about 82,000 miles on it. And what's going on is it's pinging from top end thing. And when I'm running regular gas in it, when I looked on the internet, looked on some things, and found out if I ran premium fuel or some fuel additives, the pinging will go away, which is the case. It's running when I run 91 octane or an octane booster, it's going away. But without that, running 87, it's pinging.
All right, so that's the 4.6 V8 in there, correct?
Yeah, 4.6 single overhead cam.
Okay, and it's been a good car, good engine for you so far. No other problems, really?
No other problems. It's been a good car.
How long have you had the car, Graham?
About 4 years.
Yeah, and it's a little bit weird. Like an engine that old should have a lot more mileage on it. So, whose grandma did you buy it from?
I actually did buy it from an elderly lady, but I'm a fan of rear-wheel drive, big body cars, so
Good man.
I like it.
I'm guessing the first thing you had to do was replace the turn signal bulbs because they'd been on the entire time of ownership.
I think brake pads first. She was riding
that's
brake
even
pretty
funnier.
hard.
Oh, well, no, that's a footrest. At a certain age, that becomes a footrest. Okay,
All right, so we had somebody who probably didn't push that engine very much.
let's just think about you have spark knock under what conditions? Give me a scenario: temperature, how you're driving, when you get the spark knock.
It's actually under load only. Pretty much when it's in third or fourth gear, below 2,000 RPMs to 2,500 RPMs. Anytime it's got load under it, a big hill, like on a road trip with the air conditioning on, something like that.
Okay. We cannot adjust the ignition timing on this car, and overly advanced ignition timing could give us spark knock. Another thing that can give us spark knock is overheating. If you have a hot any one of the 8 cylinders, if it was overheating, you're more susceptible. Spark knock comes from uncontrolled burning of gasoline, and the higher the octane, the more controlled burn we have. It doesn't self-ignite. So EGR, exhaust gas recirculation, is used to diminish the pollutant oxide to nitrogen, or NOx. Okay. Again, you're driving along the freeway, and you're on a slight grade, which you're kind of notorious for those out in the Las Vegas area. Actually, that's where the auto companies do a lot of their desert testing, because they not only have hot weather, but they have some grades, the most famous being the Baker grade.
And it is brutal. I've driven it.
Yeah. So anyhow, you're on a long grade. This is so our people can understand what's going on. So you're driving on the highway, you're going 70, 75 miles an hour, and it's spark knocking, clack, 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 clack. If you back out of the throttle slightly, tell me what happens.
It actually will drop a little bit, but if you downshift it and it goes into third and the higher RPMs.
Yeah, the higher the load.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you're opening the throttle more. Changing the volumetric efficiency, blah, blah, blah. We're actually stuffing more air in there. So you do have, I'm very sure that you do have spark knock, okay? By adding octane booster or higher octane fuel is less susceptible to spark knock because it doesn't burn slower, it's less susceptible to igniting on its own.
Right. Pre-detonation is basically what we're happening. It's almost like being a diesel ignition.
That's exactly what it's doing, okay? If you had an EGR flow issue, you would have a check engine light. Let me ask a basic question. When you turn on the car, does the check engine light come on? When we call the bulb check. When the brake light comes on and all the lights come on, when you just turn a key on, engine off, does that light illuminate?
Yeah, it does. I actually had a check engine light on there a couple weeks ago. This has been going on for about a year, but I had a P071.
That's a transmission code, so.
I'm sorry, it's a P0171.
That's a lean bank 2, I believe. Is that what it was?
Condition bank 2.
Yeah.
And it ended up being the hose that comes out of the back of the throttle body to the air cleaner had a vacuum leak in it from just being cracked and old in the heat.
Sure. And so it had air that wasn't being measured by the mass airflow sensor. So that's repaired, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we know that your car is capable of illuminating the check engine light. What I've seen on this car before is that we don't have flow of EGR, which is an inert gas. We don't reburn the exhaust, we just introduce an inert gas to cool the combustion chamber temperature on purpose, make it inefficient. Okay, so my next thing is you've raised the compression ratio on this artificially. And do you use oil at all? Do you have an oil consumption issue?
No.
Okay.
No, maybe a half a quart every 4,000 miles.
That's great. I'd be tickled if my cars did that. So what I'd like to go to is a combustion chamber cleaner.
Interesting.
I want to make sure there's no carbon on top of the
valve seats and stuff?
No, not in the valve seats. What I want to do is in the combustion chamber, I think he's got some buildup of carbon, and he's raised the compression ratio.
So the carbon buildup is causing hot spots in the chamber?
Not hot spots, we're actually...
You're actually building up.
You're
lowering
you're raising
the volume size.
You're changing the mechanical compression ratio. I would use some kind of a combustion chamber cleaner, sea foam or something like that. Go through the intake system, an intake port, okay? If you have a mechanic friend, he can show you how to do this, but I would run an combustion chamber cleaner. General Motors used to make this wonderful product that you would mix and you would slowly pour it into the combustion chamber, let it set for a while. It would break down the carbon, and then you go drive it like you stole it, which, given your profession, I'm sure you could find someone to help you there. And that'll blast out the carbon. I don't believe anybody should have to use higher grade fuel unless you're just putting in garbage fuel, unless you're not using what's called a top tier fuel, and those are the major distributors.
Yeah, okay. This is one that's I've actually never heard of that problem, Russ. So yeah. I would be super interested, Graham, to see if this works. If you could leave me or send me an email about that or a tweet, I would love to hear if that fixes the problem.
Just one quick question: what's the altitude of Las Vegas area?
Oh, 3,500 feet.
Yeah, so even there, you have the higher the altitude, the less octane requirement you have. I would be interested, but I would try the clean the combustion chamber method before I tried anything else.
All right. Thank you for calling in, Graham. Shoot me an email once you get this thing sorted out.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Graham.